Hi folks, John Solari back here with Cynthia Lee Clark. We're doing part 3 and we just got into his roommate.
A possible roommate. Yeah, well at the time he did have a roommate. So he was saying maybe it's my roommates. It wasn't. But the point is pink flags, you try to justify. You yourself, you meet a woman, you're attracted to her, you want to get to know things, and she might do something that irritates you. But not to the point of walking away, so it's technically a pink flag. Until it becomes red, you'll hang in there. A guy might hang in a little longer to get laid, but some guys will just say, okay, pink flag, maybe I'm misreading it. You give them a chance. So women going into it, seeing these pink flags, will say, maybe let me give him a chance, let's see. But then as they begin to grow and grow, you look at them all together and you say, now I have a red flag. And for example, the third date with him, he broke the date. He said, I'm not going to go to this particular event. I've decided I don't need to go, but I want to see you anyway. Okay, that's good. We're going to go out. We're going to be together, whatever. Cool.
Right.
But then he didn't show up. He didn't come. So at 9 o'clock at night, I sent him a text and I said, so tonight didn't mean tonight. So the next morning he texted me back and he said, I'm so sorry. Then he called me and said, oh, I got off work, I was so exhausted, I had dinner and I had a glass of wine, I went right to bed. I didn't believe him for a minute, but I couldn't disprove it. So he took me out, we had a really nice time, we talked for hours and hours, it was great. I thought, well, all right, I can't disprove that there was somebody else or something else. So I'm going to let that be kind of a pale pink flag and hold on to it. Well, as time passed and something occurred, a bigger event, and he said, I can't take you because I made plans with a business arrangement. Now all these pink flags are jumping in my face. And I said, wait a minute. You stood me up weeks ago. Did you take her? And he said, yeah. And that was it. That night we were over, because then I realized it was her ice cream. He broke a date with me to go with her. He wouldn't break a date with me to go to the Emmy. I mean, he wouldn't take me to the Emmys because he said he couldn't break a date with another woman. He broke a date with me to take her. And then there's all these other things started turning from pink to red. There were pictures of them together at events that he couldn't take me because of this, that, or another. He was going alone, and yet it's her and him, and her and him, and her and him everywhere. And he was on her cover page of Facebook. So it's like, why the lies? If we're not going anywhere, that's okay. We might have been friends if there hadn't been this whole pitch of, I'm falling in love with you, I think I might want to spend the rest of my life with you, but yeah, you got somebody else. I'm the other woman. I'm not going to be anybody's other woman.
As the doctor in you, why do you believe men do that? Or this guy does something like that?
A lot of times it's to feel more masculine, more virile. I've got 2 women now, or 3 or 4. I think we're doing some Facebook back and forth about love and caring. I think the majority of people really want a one-on-one relationship that's solid, especially as we mature. We want that solid, bonded relationship where we're a team. We party together, we sleep together, we go to the grocery together, we cook together. We may have slightly different lives, but we come back together, we share. And I think as we get older, women tend to be more monogamous than men, but we tend to be more monogamous because we don't want to throw away something that's good. At younger, it'll last forever, it never does. So as we're searching for a partner, we want somebody with the same values and what have you, but every now and then there's somebody who comes up who has to feel that he's more important than anything else, that his self-fulfillment or having 2 women interested in him or 3 women interested in him or whatever is way more important than having that solid relationship. Because whatever he did with me on a brief period of time, he also did to her, because he wasn't giving her his undivided attention.
It's true.
I mean, I know about her. I have no idea if she ever found out about me.
It's true. I mean, just the other day I was talking to somebody about when you're young, especially a man, you go to bed with anybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no,
when you get
true.
older, I hesitate a lot. And something you said there, it's interesting because I put it out front all the time. Who I am, my background, and everything. I get a lot of smacks in the face, and I get a lot of rejection, mostly rejections.
But those are people too that you don't want in your life because you don't want
I have
fake
to
people.
look at that. I mean,
Yeah.
it hurts sometimes.
It does.
It
does.
But but you're right. I put it out there. Like someone once asked me, who was doing the Robert Blake case, when it all came out about me being in organized crime, and I said I put it out there so they can't use it on me.
Right. That's how I feel. I've got a lot of skeletons in my closet. Well, they're not so much in my closet. They're on my sofa now.
Right.
Because I'd rather tell you than have you learn it and say, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
Or call me a liar.
It's true. It's not that I'm bragging or anything. I want, especially a woman, I put them up. Listen, this is who I am.
Right.
This is what I did. Right
and
now.
all of that makes you the person you are today. So bad, good, it doesn't matter. You wouldn't be who you are.
Broken and alone.
Well, yes, but you have things to offer that other people don't have to offer because of the things in your case that you've suffered through.
I understand, but I joke about it a lot. I tell them, being legit is killing me. I can't earn a living.
Right. No, I get that. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as it sounds or feels.
And I made a ton of money, but it wasn't taxable. So years later, you just get hurt.
Right.
It really hurts today. I mean, when you say to yourself, the 99-cent store is getting expensive.
Right, exactly. Can't shop there anymore. I need a 20-cent store. No, life is hard, and it's hard when you're in a situation. It's even worse when you're older.
That's what I'm saying. You get to a certain age, and all of a sudden, whoa, they don't want to hire you for this. You can't go there.
Right.
And you're stuck with the benefits you get, and you're almost like stuck.
You're stuck. You are stuck.
And you got to find a way out of there, legitimately.
Right.
Or else you get stuck in another 8 by 9.
Right. Yeah, you don't want that.
Not today. I'm too old for that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just sometimes it can be mind-boggling, and I'm amazed because you're a beautiful woman. And when I was reading that thing of when you were talking about that, I was thinking, how could this be? I don't understand why men. Why are they this way?
I don't. I mean, I understand it psychologically from an intimate point of view. I don't understand it, except that I will say, in my defense, I felt from the beginning something wasn't right. Those little pink flags. So we were never intimate.
But are you also are you in the market to say there are 3 sides to every story, yours, mine, and then the truth?
Well, of course, it's good, but I don't see if you're dating another woman and lying to me about her, how there can be a truth.
That's not kosher.
Yeah.
And when you get older, the one thing I find about women today, I mean, my age, the women, and I always liked older women all my life. I was always into older women, and because they were women.
Right,
you didn't have to tell them you loved them to go to bed with them. As a teenager, if you wanted to get to first base,
you played the game.
Will you marry me or tell me you love me? Okay, you can go to first base.
Right, exactly.
But and besides, women were sexy. They didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
But I find today, women my age and this, that, they don't. I heard a woman say, "I'm looking for a friend." I want to say, get a dog. I'm still a healthy male.
Right. But you see, that could be two different things. It could be literally a friend because they want somebody, but
not sexually.
Exactly, not sexually. Or it could be that they want to feel secure in who that person is before they now go into a sexual relationship. So if I start off with you as a friend, and we're really good friends and we become closer, for me it's easier to go into a sexual intimacy than if I just meet you and say, well, I really don't know anything about again, I don't profile you, so I don't know anything about you. Do I really want to hop into bed? Maybe I do, but maybe I want it to be the forever kind. So let me get to know you and see if this is what I want to give.
Well, don't you find men are more anxious than women?
Of course they are.
You know, we want to
Yeah.
cut to the chase.
Exactly. But in using again my example of him, he kept saying he was looking for his next, last, greatest love, which ideally is what I want. So I'm not going to hop into bed with somebody like that until I feel secure. And one thing he would say always to me is, oh, you're insecure. Well, yeah, I just went through a very protracted divorce where, you know, he said horrible things about me as a person and attractiveness, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to be a little gun shy. But the fact that you keep calling me insecure is because you keep throwing up red flags and pink flags, and I'm catching them.
Right.
I'm not insecure. You're holding something back. But I'm not going to go there and then feel, I mean, I was deeply betrayed and really hurt when I discovered everything. But I would have felt even worse if I had entered into the more intimate zone. Because then I would have really given me. I gave him my mind and I gave him my time and I was growing with him. But luckily for me, in the way I feel, I learned who he really was.
Well, see, another point, I guess we could bring it up. I mean, I want to bring it up too. Is I always found women that I say maybe brought to a climax. I mean, it was almost like you owned them.
You know, that is an interesting thing because it can be from both. You can feel that way, men tend to feel that way, and sometimes women do too, but not always.
Not always, yeah.
Not
But
always.
I mean, a lot of women, I remember when I think back of the women that happened, made a climax. I mean, they were there. I mean, it was like being possessed by them after that.
Well, because it is such an intimate, powerful physical moment, and the actual climaxing is so explosive that when you're with a person who has
The capability?
and allows you to do that, you feel a connection. Now, some women though are a little bit more male-like, and so it's like, oh, that was great. Yeah, I don't have to see you again, but you know, I'll see you again to get laid. But it all depends on which brain is operating their sexual intimacy.
The ones I found, the latter you were talking about, usually are women who just want to have sex, are not looking for a relationship. Then when you know, they'll come and great, you know, and it's over. But the women who are looking for relationships,
I don't agree with you.
Okay.
I mean, that could be who you ran into. But I have found that
you could be right.
women, exactly. Women who sometimes have a male orientation to sex have it for many reasons. They have it because they came from divorced parents. They have it because they were raped or assaulted. So there could be many psychological reasons why she has developed this type of philosophy. It doesn't mean she doesn't want a relationship. It doesn't mean she won't fall in love with you head over heels. But it depends on how you look at it, but one good part is that, you know, when she does climax with you, she's not going to be clingy forever. If after you have sex with her you think, oh my God, what did I do? She's not going to be all over you and calling you and stalking you for more. She's just going to say, yeah, okay, whatever. Because
it is interesting. I mean, men, you know, don't understand that. I mean, women have we are different. I care less what you say.
Mars and Venus, absolutely.
I mean, I don't even attempt to try to figure out a woman.
Yeah. You know? But men too, there are men who develop severe feelings, strong feelings for a woman once they have sex with them. I mean, highly emotional, attached as well. Yes. So there's both sides can do either one.
I think, well, it's been my experience, the women that I've been most attracted to are women who are very open to, you know, who are not rigid, who enjoy sex, no matter what.
I think most men are like that. Yeah.
Right, okay, so.
I mean, really, basically, you
you
want something that you don't have to work too hard for. That's relatively easy and fun, and
I don't want to have to look for that satisfaction,
Right.
being satisfied that way.
right.
When you can find, when I was in my youth, I always wanted a woman, back in the 70s, we did some swinging and this and that. I thought it was great. These guys were married, and they, they went swinging, and then they went home. I did myself when I went to Plato's Retreat. It was a very famous place in New York, in the Insonia Hotel. And I remember going there and, have sex with all these different women. But when I left, I wanted to make love to somebody I cared about.
Yeah, it's
It was a
different.
very lonely feeling not to have anyone to come home to.
Right, the intimacy, you had intimacy, but not the intimacy. Yeah, you had sex.
Well,
not
we
intimacy.
fucked there, and I
Yeah.
wanted to go home and make love.
Yeah,
There's a big difference.
big difference.
Yeah. Big difference.
Big difference.
And it's really, and I was living with one woman, we had separate bedrooms, which I found was really wonderful. Really. Because then, get up, go in there, and she'd be asleep, I wake up and make love. So it was great. When I was sleeping with someone, it got to a point where you almost felt like you were obligated. I was obligated. Well, we're in bed. We got to do this. But when we had separate bedrooms,
That's
well,
interesting.
she would come into me,
Mhm.
and it was.
So the cuddling factor and the pre and post intimacy, not for you.
Well, it's not a question. It wasn't for me there. I'm talking about. It was.
It was more exciting to have creep
Yes,
in and
both.
creep out.
It kept it alive and
Uh-huh.
different, and I didn't feel obligated.
But that's interesting that you would feel obligated.
Well, sometimes you're tired and it's this and that, and
Exactly, you
Yeah.
don't want to do it.
so. But you.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, but I guess I never.
It didn't feel romantic sleeping together. It was like it became.
A chore.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. It's so much a chore, but
Well, I think what you said, an obligation. Like if we sleep
Yeah,
together, we
right.
must do this because we're
and
in
yet
the
there are
same
things
bed.
don't you enjoy doing things by yourself, being by yourself at times.
I spend a lot of time by myself, so basically I do. But on the other hand, I also enjoy being with somebody.
Well,
a lot.
couldn't that be in separate bedrooms sometimes?
Yeah, I don't know that I'd want to
Most
do
women
that.
can't do that. So
Yeah.
again, John Solari sleeps alone. No, not you.
So do I.
Okay, what I'm saying is because I enjoy that. I think that maybe if I was 20 again or something like that. I mean, there's all those personal things that we go through
Right.
when you get older. That's sort of, I guess it's that fear of flying. Remember, what was her name?
Right.
Erica Young.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's letting go and just see what happens.
Yeah, just go
You're
with
right.
it.
Go with
Yeah.
it. And
But I do believe, well, of course, this guy was a liar, so I don't know. He had said that he had been involved with somebody he cared about, and they wanted separate houses, separate
well,
bedrooms.
that's a little different.
And he was concerned about that.
And
But
both in his name, right?
yeah, it was, no, she was rich.
No, I'm saying,
Um,
but he would want
He
to.
would want him in, yeah, put it in my name. But it's a little different, but kind of like that, because then you have a lot of your space, and
Well, I'm
but that
just
wouldn't
saying.
work for me. I don't want that.
No, it doesn't work. But there are people. It's
It
funny
works
when
for
I thought about it when Robin Williams died. They slept in separate bedrooms. And I'm thinking, you're probably right. Maybe a sad thing to say, but I wonder, there was nobody there with him at night to comfort him,
Right.
which he really
He needed.
needed. Because some of the most depressing people I've ever met in my life are stand-up comics.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that was my first thought when I heard that
Mhm.
that he had a separate bedroom. And I said, wow, there's a man who shouldn't have had one.
No, but we don't know what's
We
going
don't
on.
know
Was
that.
there trouble in the marriage? Did he snore?
Whatever.
Whatever.
Or
Yeah.
even snoring. I mean, women. Women snore too, so
Yeah,
you
but
know.
some people snore.
I
Like
understand.
my ex-husband snores like a train all day, so it's like, it's like, oh my God.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. People, when he would go on business trips and they would make you have a roommate, no one would be his roommate because they would write to the company and say he snores too much, I can't sleep.
Well, my bed in there now used to be a California king when I lived up on Mulholland Drive. Now it's just, you know. one
Huge
percent.
bed.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that too is also great, you know.
A big playroom.
A big bed so that you do have your space.
Yeah, that's true. You could easily have your space. You could be together but separate.
Yeah, right. That, you know, I mean, I'm open to all things. I always throw that out to women about separate bedrooms, and 99% say no.
Well, yeah, because we don't want that. We want the intimacy that goes with pre-intimacy, the connection, the laying next, touching. I don't have to have sex to touch you and enjoy being next to you.
Why do men? I mean, I know me as a human. You know, sex is. When you look at a woman, I mean, that's another thing. See, when I look at a woman, I think, would I or would I not?
Yeah. And you think about sex like every 23 seconds.
Yeah, right. And a woman doesn't do
No.
this. They look at, well, is he a good provider? Is he good?
Well,
It's
sometimes
not-
you think about how would he be in bed, but that's usually down the list.
That's what I mean,
It's
down
on
the list.
but it's down.
By the time I get to down the list with you, she's already thrown me out. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm looking.
Yeah, what we do, we you know, if unless you want to just go out and have fun and have a good time, you're going to look at potential, especially as you mature. You're going to look, okay, is this somebody immediately that it could be a provider, could be a good partner for the rest of my life? Is this a generous person? Is this a humorous person? Is this somebody that I like talking to? And then you get to sex. Because we're looking at a future, we're not looking at tonight.
Meanwhile, the guy's on Medicare.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I'm thinking now of going into younger men because the older men just aren't working.
Well, I hear that, but you know, I keep hearing that, and it's. I guess it's possible. I mean, it's not with me, but it's. Because maybe I don't know what it. Maybe it's the Italian, maybe, or what? Maybe because I've never been married, and they said anxiety, and I don't know what it is. But I do want to. You do want to find someone that you can share your life with
Yeah.
today. I mean, you know, and you go out, have fun, this and that. But
And you don't want to die alone.
it's such a nice feeling to be able to grab her ass.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong. There's
You know?
nothing wrong with. I mean, one of the fun things is kissing or
Yes.
holding hands, even no matter how old you are. I think it is so sweet and so, again, a good, small, intimate moment that you're sharing with somebody that is so wonderful.
Yeah. It is. Unfortunately, we all learn the hard way, and usually later in life when because today I look back at all the opportunities, and I thought, oh my God, what did I do? You know, you just don't understand
No, I know
how
what you
ignorant and how foolish.
Well, we learn.
And, well, like a man thinks with the other hand.
Right, exactly. A lot. A lot.
You know, that used to be my. If I was talking to you and I got an erection, I knew I liked you. I knew I wanted to date you.
Yeah, but how many?
That's true.
A lot. Boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba
But-
boom. You're at attention a lot.
And it wouldn't not really a lot, but I mean, I would go up to some women and all of a sudden, boom, I find
And you
myself.
go, whoops, I'm attracted to her.
Yes. It's amazing. I mean, it just comes out of nowhere. Where does this come from? Oh. But then it doesn't.
Which is what guides men. We are talking about all of that, which is why you think so sexually, is because that's the first thing that pops up.
It's no pun intended, but it's
Exactly.
you know I
It
never
gets
said
it
that
gets your
publicly.
big head thinking because the little head is at attention, and all of a sudden you go, whoa, let me think again about her.
I've never
Or-
said that publicly, but it's one of the things that I notice. If I come to attention, I'm in love.
Then you know you're attractive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm a
That's
breast
interesting.
man too. I gotta
Uh-huh.
admit that. If I see big breasts, I go. Then by the time I get to the face, it's too late. I'm already in love.
Yeah. That's funny. I think women look at eyes.
Ah.
And then I do know some women who look at the package. But I think a lot of women look at the eyes and the face and the smile.
And the chest. Women like a nice
Some
chest.
do, yeah. Well, I like somebody who's built, proportionate. And I like taller men, although I'm married to short men.
That's interesting.
So it was like, what the hell was I thinking?
The opposite, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Everything is opposite of what I am
Well,
attracted
most people
to.
are. They like the opposite. You know, blonde usually goes with someone that has dark hair. It's not a short girl goes with a tall.
Yeah, and
Everything
so
seems
I
to be
really
the
like
opposite.
tall men. I think there's something nice about reaching up. But when you're like here, it's like, oh.
And I like real short women. It's funny, and yet I go out with women older than me. I mean, taller than me.
Yeah.
sometimes. You know,
It is an interesting thing, attraction. I think one thing that we don't recognize because it's not obvious is the thing we use as chemistry is really a scent. So
Scent.
either you are attracted immediately to their scent,
Yeah.
or if it's neutral, that's okay. But when your body finds it to be foul, then you're not attracted to them.
It makes sense. I mean,
But it's
animals
done.
do
It's
that.
done cerebrally, so we're not even aware of it.
Animals do it. I mean,
Yeah,
they smell each
exactly.
other and this and that, and they see. Now, give them your website, not the sexual one, but
Yeah.
the killer one.
www. Call me. No. www.CynthiaLeaClark.com.
You would make a great sexual therapist. Have you ever tried that?
I did that when I first
Oh,
began,
okay.
way back in the 80s.
We should get a few couples.
Yeah.
That you
In fact,
come
I worked
on.
at the original Masters&Johnson's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is why I can't watch the show,
Oh,
because it's so not like it was.
I bet you it isn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do enjoy it. I don't know the difference. But that was a book back in the times when
Yes.
it was X-rated.
Joy of Sex, Masters&Johnson.
Right, they were.
And there was
big books.
another one too, yeah, that they were.
Well, the other one was the young one, wasn't it?
Erica, yeah,
The
but
Fear
there
of
was,
Flying?
there was another one like Masters&Johnson who also had a sex clinic, and I can't remember. Menopause is not your friend with memory, so I can't remember who they are right now. But Masters&Johnson was big, and there was a lot of talk of book burning back then.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah.
And that'd be a great time. If any of you listeners out there, you want to talk to her about sexual things, and that'd be an interesting subject to have a group of people here and talk about that. Because a lot of these things are not being told.
No, and you either
And
have
your
to find out for
feelings.
yourself.
Oh, I love the idea that you came out and just opened up. We got the third show before you did, but the second show. I'm really glad you did that, because I was hoping for that, and I don't like I appreciate it, and I know the audience will, because it's something that needs to be, it's taboo. Like, I never thought I would say, that's how I judge women.
But you know what? If we're more open, which is not easy to do, and some people get upset and uptight, but once it starts happening, then I think there's more honesty on the table, and there's no need for some of the lying that goes on. I mean, you can be right up front and say, hey, I want to do you. Okay, either I'm going to say yes or I'm going to say no, but I would respect your honesty.
That's what I said before earlier. I used to get a lot of smacks, because you want to get laid. Boom! But I also got laid too.
Exactly. I mean, and I think there are women out there who appreciate that directness.
There are,
Yeah.
because I did it one time. I remember on 57th Street, Manhattan. You know how busy that is, Fifth Avenue. And I just yelled out, "Anybody want to fool around?" Some woman said, "I do."
There you go. Well, and you know what? The 70s and the 80s were a different time.
Right, yeah.
A very different time. We
Right.
were very sexually active. We wanted to explore at the time, especially in the 70s, late 60s, 70s.
I was in the Village in '67.
We had some issues. We hadn't learned about AIDS yet.
It
So,
wasn't, yeah.
you know, sex was a great way to have fun, a great way to explode, express yourself,
And it's
enjoy
very healthy.
yourself.
Don't let anybody
Yeah.
kid you. Sex is
The
one of
endorphins.
it's so healthy, and you know, you relax.
Right.
Even when you masturbate afterwards.